All right. So this is going to be my very first testing of this setup here. I'm going to be doing a Q&A today. If you haven't already, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, 1 inch punch that bell notification, and feel free to leave me some comments or questions down below. You can email me questions at masterwanish@gmail.com. You can leave some questions would be ideal in the comments down below. That would be the easiest thing. Or on my Facebook at Wing Chun Online at Facebook, leave some questions there and I'll answer them in the next edition of this kind of Q&A, this style here. So the first question, why do people think Wing Chun practitioners can't handle hook punches? Now, I actually just did a video on this maybe several weeks back. I'll put a link to that down below. Wing Chun practice, I don't know why they think that. Maybe because we do not throw a lot of hook punches. We do throw something called a hook angle side punch, which is essentially a straight punch from a side angle. I'll define that in another video. But we successfully defend hook punches, whether they're tight, wide, using Bill Sao, Quan Sao, numerous different hand positions. So we definitely deal with hook punches. I really don't know the exact answer why people think we don't know how to handle hook punches. Probably because we throw so many straight punches, but in battle drills and all sorts of exercises, we're constantly practicing defending every punch, uppercuts, hook punches, elbows, you name it, we cover it. So Wing Chun practitioners can easily defend hook punches, once again, using Bill Sao, Quan Sao, Tan Sao, we slip hook punches, all those good things. Next question. What way can I land big strikes in a fight? How do I cut distance with minimal chances of getting hit? That's a good question. And how do I fight aggressive, better, and smart? All right. So I guess it's a three-part question there. What ways can I land? And I'm reading this on the phone, thus looking down. What ways can I land big strikes? Okay, you kind of, I guess, understand the answer to that with the second part of your question, range. You have to understand your range. And I apologize, I don't know where I'm supposed to be looking quite here. You have to understand your range. You have to be close to your partner, your attacker, to get a good punch in. To land a devastating blow, you need to be really close so you can punch through your target. So to answer that question, what ways can I land a big strike in a fight? You got to get in and you got to get in close to deliver that blow. Also, where you punch can be a factor, right? You hit the eyes, they can't see, they can't fight. Hit the throat, they can't breathe, they can't fight. Hit the temple, ear, take away their equilibrium, they can't, they don't have their balance, they can't fight well. So proper targeting, understanding where the most effective targets to land your strike is important, and also being close enough to your opponent or attacker to deliver a devastating blow is crucial. So it's really about understanding range. Now, let's see here. How do I cut the distance with minimal chances of getting hit? Well, we do all sorts of in Wing Chun training drills and partner drills. As you're getting those skill sets, you're learning how to deflect attacks, slip attacks, defend attacks. But then you can get into things like micro study, which is sparring, but at a much lower level. It's like a DJ turning a turntable and everybody's moving at the same speed, really slow, not going full power, so you can feel more confident with experimenting, working on getting in, getting out. You know, there's a ton of benefits to sparring, studying range, getting hit, learning how you can take a hit, not get hit, what to do when you get hit, range, power, distance, all these factors, practicing different techniques. So we do micro study where you're studying that at a very slow, scale down pace, and you can feel more comfortable with experimenting on going in. And then also, of course, just really getting into some real full-blown sparring, because then as you enter in and you get hit, you realize what your mistakes were, or you realize what worked for you, what didn't work for you. So you really have to put it to the test, and doing it in a proper, safe sparring environment with a mouthpiece and headgear and gloves. You can then experiment on your entry techniques, getting in close. Like I said, if you go in and you get knocked, you get hit really hard, you know, okay, that didn't work. Why didn't it work? Oh, I didn't have my hand up. and you learn from your own mistakes, really, right? There's tons of answers to a lot of these, so I'm not saying these are the only answers, right? How do I fight better, smart, um, more aggressive, better, and smart? Okay, let's go back to cutting the distance, getting in without getting hit as well. Something you can do, and this will go to answer how do you fight a little smarter. Sometimes you can keep your distance a little bit and draw them out, right? And now they want to punch you and they're well out of punching range. So you're now in a safer zone, and really get them to get a little frustrated because you're now moving and not being a sitting duck, a still target. And now you can get your attacker, or you're the person you're sparring against or fighting against, to overcommit. And now they're frustrated. They really want to hit you. And now they're going to step in and they're going to have to really overcommit. And you basically are suckering them in, you're drawing them in. When they overcommit, you're going to slip their attack and just drop them, right? Get a nice shot in. So a lot of times it's about not being so aggressive that, you're just trying to be the dominant one, which is fine if you can. Every fighting situation is different. Sometimes you need to be the aggressor, but sometimes it's just more simple to sit back and let them make the mistake. And you're the one that takes advantage of that. You counter their attack. In martial arts, next question. This is a different question. Those are good questions. In martial arts, is it true that technique beats muscle? I highly doubt a scrawny kid with kicking skills can beat a CrossFitter. All right. I'm just going to go out and say not every person, right? Not every individual. No, you can't just say every person that can fight can beat up a bigger partner no matter what, right? Size can be a factor, but in Wing Chun, we don't rely on size and strength. We always assume our attackers are bigger, stronger weapons and friends. You cannot rely on brute strength. Now, an example, you could take the smallest. I've had children in Wing Chun classes, and I can step in and punch them as hard as I can, being so much larger than them, size, weight, strength, everything, and they're able to deflect my attack. I can grab them by the wrist as hard as I can, and they can escape that attack. So technique can beat muscle. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. As a matter of fact, if your size can be a factor, and as well, your techniques shouldn't rely on size. So if you're solely relying on brute strength, you're going to lose, because you're going to assume your attacker's bigger, stronger. Then it's not going to work. If I step in and throw a punch and you do this hi-ya block like this, and my punch is stronger than your block's going to just hit my arm, and my punch is going to hit you right in the face. It's that simple. It's just not going to work. Where we sidestep and deflect that attack, it doesn't matter how strong that punch is coming in, you're able to deflect the attack. Now, can a scrawny kid with some good fighting skills beat a CrossFitter? Probably. Now, can they beat up every CrossFitter? No. It's, once again, everybody's different. I don't know the skill level versus how big and strong, right? But in general, somebody who's been training how to fight and actually spars and fights would probably take down a CrossFitter with no fighting skills, because they're not. It doesn't matter. They don't have the skills. Now, if it's a huge giant dude that can, deadlifts 500 pounds for reps and is just super strong with a bare grip and is really aggressive, he might be able to just grab that guy and just slam him to the ground. Once again, all these things are different. Even in grappling, jiu-jitsu guys will say size can be a difference. Even though they're able to dominate, it definitely can make it harder, make the fight last longer. Numerous factors involved. So size does play a factor, but your technique should not be relying on size and strength. If you're relying on pure brute strength and size, and your attacker's bigger and stronger, you're always going to lose. So here's a good example. In Gainesville, Florida, my Kung Fu brother, when we were training, he was 14, 15. I think probably 14 at the time. Scrawny, skinny, tiny guy, right? Wing Chun, top notch. I mean, expert level Wing Chun for a 15, 14-year-old kid. Expert level. whenever we do open fight nights or sparring sessions, people would come out from all over to fight. They would always say, I want to fight him. And I'm like, of course you want to fight him. He's the smallest guy in the room. They'd always pick on him. And all my Kung Fu brothers, we'd laugh and go, fine, go fight him. Now, he could take a punch and he could deliver a punch like a knockout punch. The kid had great skills. So did he get hit in fights? Yes, but he could take it. And did he hit them back? Yes. And at the end of the fight, they were always like, oh man, that kid is tough. And then we go, yeah, and he's also 14. And they'd be like, what? I'm like, yeah, you know, why don't you pick on somebody you're what, 30 and you're picking on a 14-year-old to fight you? But he would do great in the sparring sessions and he would dominate. And to the point where people were like, the next time they come back in, they were not picking him to fight again. So everybody's different. Everybody's different. I just can't stress enough. You cannot rely on brute strength in self-defense situations. Otherwise, you're simply gonna lose. Now, in a fighting situation, you know, it can be different. So I can go on all day on that. What is a good tip for self-defense? Well, keep your hands up. Hey, I don't want any trouble, to protect yourself unless there's a weapon, and then you have to take different tactics, because if my hand's up and they have a knife, they could just slash my hands. Good tips for self-defense is doing the simplest things within the realm of your safety, using techniques that don't rely on brute strength. And these are some of the things I'm going to be showing everybody. You have to use techniques that don't rely on force. And with our wrist grabs, our chokes, all these things, you can escape them effortlessly, always. So economy of movement, economy of energy, simplest things within the realm of your safety, not relying on brute strength, vision placement, having your vision in the right spot, which I did a video on. So all these can be good tips for self-defense. Hands up, protecting yourself, setting a range from your attacker if you have that luxury, knowing techniques that don't rely on brute strength. All of these can be good tips. Knowing how to, what I talked about before, proper targeting, where you're going to take somebody out, you know, good targets that are going to end a fight quick, take away their air, they can't breathe, they can't fight, take away their vision, they can't see, they can't fight, kill their computer, they can't think, they can't fight, take out their legs, they have no mobility, they can't fight. So good targeting can be very effective in self-defense situations. Now there's numerous more tips, and if there's something I'm saying here and you want to add on anything or debate anything, just leave it in the comment down below. That would be great. Should I spar with a fellow inexperienced peer without supervision from a coach? We have headgear and mouth guards. I'm just going to give you the pro answer. No. Okay. Even though people do it all the time. So if, you know, I get it. I've done it. We all have done it. But if you can get a coach involved, you're going to be much better off. It's generally the least experienced partners are the most likely the ones that are going to hurt you, because they don't have the control, especially if you're throwing kicks and they're below the waist and they're kicking at your legs. They can damage your knee real easy. So generally you're better off with more advanced partners, because they've been doing it. They have more control. They understand the situation at hand. Or the less, you know, people that are more inexperienced are more likely to hurt you by accident. Now, that being said, I'm glad you're sparring, you know? So, is there a martial art training where 3 people fight each other at the same time? Well, multiple attacker situations. So yes, we do this a lot. We do several variations of this. We'll do self-defense situations where you're being attacked by 1, 2, or 3 people or more. We'll do sparring situations where you're sparring 1 or 2 opponents. We'll do multiple attacker drills where we're working on lining people up as multiple people are coming at you, how to line them up. Because you really can't, if this is a group of people you don't charge, you need to line them up as much as possible and disable them quickly. We do things like circle fighting. That's where one person's in the middle and everybody has a number, and the person in the middle doesn't know the numbers of the people circling. So let's say you have 10 guys walking around you and they all have numbers. You're in the middle and the coach says 1, 4, 5, and those 3 guys run out and then you have to fight those 3 guys like that. 2, 3, 4, boom, you know, and so numbers are just spit out, those guys run in, and then you're fighting multiple attackers. We also do line fighting where guys line up in a line and you're at one end and basically you got to get your way down to the other end. It just gets you used to punches coming from all sorts of direction. It's really easy for people to take advantage of you in that situation because they know you're coming down the line and they're just looking for that opening. So you know, yes, multiple attacker situations. So those are just a few questions that were asked. Send more questions. I'd love to answer them. And that's about it. I just want to say I wish everybody well out there. These are a bit of crazy times for everybody. I know everybody's going a little stir crazy. So I'm hoping these lessons are helping people kind of, you know, take their mind off things, learn a new skill, polish a skill you might have. And I look forward to seeing everybody in more lessons and Q&As to come. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day. Once again, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, 1-inch punch that bell notification, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a good day.